Uber.
All right, before we start this podcast, can everybody that's watching see this clean fade lineup I got? Can you see it? Can you see there?
Well, I ain't got a lot of it right now. He been slacking, but it's good.
Get together too.
It's good though. We all good. I'm gonna get a lineup tomorrow.
This is a new rendition of the C Motivated podcast. We're doing a community highlight. First ever.
Highlighting the community.
First ever highlight. The Weekly Barbershop. We got 2 out of the 3 compadres.
Yes.
Hey,
the third compadre is a legit compadre. He ain't here, but guess what? You're going to see him down at the shop. What's the address?
The address, you can see us down at the shop down there by the courthouse, downtown, 108 East 5th Street, right next to Fitters and right next to the Fox Theater. Hard to miss. We got a big-ass barber pole out there so everybody can see it, coming down the street.
And go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Well, I am Darian Weeks, the owner of the Weekly Barber.
That's every week.
I got my my second here in command.
Yes, this Terrell.
Yeah, careful there.
TJ the Barber. I'm on Instagram, TJ the Barber 13, Facebook, TJ the Barber. I'll be the second one that pop up, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, make sure when you hand him the mic, make sure you let your pretty face be seen, We got 2 of the pretty faces here in Sedalia because they used to it. They make you look good.
You actually don't mind if we take this off, huh? Hold it. Can I hold it?
No,
I actually can. Yeah,
you can. You just have to unplug it. It's gonna be weird. Unplug it.
Yeah.
Like hit the button.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then careful to not make too much shape. And then unravel it from the back, and then screw it off too. It screws off here.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out there.
Yeah. We're making things happen around here. This is the first ever video version of the podcast, so bear with us. It's probably shaking a little bit right now, but it's all good. The reason for this podcast is to really highlight and promote, local, it can be businesses, entrepreneurs, just athletes, you name it, people doing positive things in the community. I want to give them a showcase to, highlight that, show everybody in the community what they're doing, what they're up to. So I thought it'd be perfect to start it off with my guys right here. Let's start with TJ since Darian is still working on the microphone right there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Tell the people at home what got you into barbering.
Alright, so
into the microphone.
I started off, let's see, I originally started, I wanted to be an accountant. Alright, so my older brother, he was actually started barbering first. Yeah, I wanted to be an accountant.
Oh, no, I'm glad you did barbering.
Yeah, I had to find something, man. So I stepped out to the real world, man. I had to take a leap of faith. So I seen my brother, he was cutting hair at home. He did the whole barbering thing. He went to school first. He didn't get to finish though, so he was cutting at home. I took the clippers from him one day and cut someone's hair. I forgot who it was.
Messed him up.
Nah, yeah. It was a bald fade. You can't mess up a bald fade. You got it bald all over. So I just cut all his hair off. Then I just sort of gravitated towards it, and it just went from there, man. I took off. To me, being a barber is like being a superhero. You could change people's lives, man. One haircut.
I like
the world.
Hey, I like that. You could change people's lives with a haircut. That's where every time I go in and get a cut, my personal barber, Darian, I'm nothing against TJ. TJ actually might be a little better. I don't know.
He ain't had none yet. They say good dope sell itself.
Good dope sell.
Hey, you get one taste of it, it's over. Hey,
so dope in your chair.
He ain't had a taste yet, so you'll see.
But same question to you, Darian. What got you into barbering?
Number one thing that got me into barbering is really this kind of accidental trait that I fell upon. My dad always gave us this horrible haircut. I'm pretty sure you guys in the military who go to the barbershops on base probably get this cut all the time. He go ahead and leave this top part here and everything else bald all the way around.
Okay.
And I mean, going into
flat top?
Yeah, well, almost. Almost a flat top. It's kind of like a little crew cut without the fade.
Yeah.
And going into freshman year.
This dog is freaking out.
Going into freshman year and you know, being a 14-year-old, when you walk into a school with a haircut like that, it is just tears you down. So I just, you know, started thinking, you know, hey, if he does that to us, I can probably do a half-ass better job. So I got the clippers, started shaving at my own head. I messed it up, you know, but I mean, it was fun to just see what I could create with these clippers, you know what I'm saying? You got different guards, you got different level, you know, you look at the way the hair grows in different spots. I started doing it to my little brothers, cutting their hair, finally getting somewhat good at it, and then that's when I knew, like, yo, I like cutting hair. I didn't even think I would do it for a career. I thought, hey, I'll cut anybody's hair any given day. You know, if you need a haircut, you remember back in high school, you know, I'm like, oh, let me cut your hair, you know, I'll cut it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Darian was always the first person. You don't even have to say nothing about getting a haircut, but it's just like you could tell that he loved doing it, so he just always mentioned, hey, man, looks like you need a cut, bro.
Let me get that.
But I didn't even know you had to go to school for actually cutting hair. And I thought I could just do something with it. Eventually, when enough careers didn't work out, college didn't work out, whatnot, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do.
So you fell back to what you know.
So I figured out how do you start cutting hair? You got to go to school. So I went to school, started in school, you know what I mean? And the rest is real history, you know what I mean?
No, for real.
You gotta be dedicated towards it, man. Once again, you gotta be dedicated. Barber, you can't just pick it up and say you want to be a barber. It's more than that. Like you said, you gotta go to school for it. It's a long journey.
Question for both of y'all. What is it like? So you cut hair before school all the time.
Right.
You cut hair before school all the time. Darian's throwing the mic in my face.
Right.
Sorry. We're gonna figure this out. Don't worry.
Hey, yeah, we getting it.
But you cut hair before going to barbering school. What's the difference? What did you learn the most by going to barber school?
With me personally, barber school to me was like, it was a way to. It was more than cutting hair and barbering or in the school. When you get into school, it teaches you, like, I would say, kind of like the business behind it. It'll show you the different techniques, the skin diseases. You learn stuff like that.
That kind of important stuff, so you don't get lost.
Yeah, the history. Like, it's a lot to it, man. And then with me, before I went to barber school, I only knew how to cut one type of hair, which was African Americans. So I learned how to use the shears. I learned more than just the clippers. I learned a lot, man. But to really actually learn how to be a barber, like how to cut hair, it's gonna take time. You're gonna have to get out there and get some heads underneath you. You're gonna have to mess up some heads to actually learn how to do it.
And that's literally like everything, though. I mean, it takes, you know, repetition and practice to get better at it.
Exactly.
But you know.
Yeah, man.
But it takes a certain amount of guidance, like going to school,
right?
Like realizing where you're making mistakes in, and then correct them, and then all of a sudden now you start getting people in your chair.
Right, and it takes a lot of time. Like you said, at times it's gonna take dedication. That's what it's gonna take. You're gonna have to be dedicated.
Let him answer this.
And question. I mean, just to emphasize on what Terrell said, yeah, I mean, you learn just a lot of different stuff, like the history behind barbering. I mean, most of you probably didn't even know barbering is the oldest profession out there. It's the oldest profession. It is. It says it on all the history stuff we went back to. We used to even be barbers / doctors. That's what it was. If you go into the barbershop,
it was surgeons.
You go to the doctor, period.
You gonna walk into the Weekly Barber downtown Sedalia right by the Fox Theater, and it's gonna say Darian Weeks, PhD in barber, and let's go.
Yeah.
Dr. Week, TJ the barber.
But yeah, it really emphasizes, it really shows you, I mean, from the point where how different hair strands grow, you know, it all teaches you different ways to cut the hair, because you know so much about the inside of the hair and how it's developed. So now you know, oh, if I do this, I know what the recoil is going to be inside the cuticle. I know what the recoil is going to be inside the hair bowl. I know what the recoil is going to be underneath, you know, the pores of the hair. I know, you know all of that. You know what I mean? So it just gave you a broader look on something you thought was just tiny, you know, that was insignificant.
You just start cutting the head, was it?
Yeah.
He either likes it or you don't. That's it.
Yeah, you know.
Well, you had to learn anatomy when you went to barber school. You had to learn anatomy and chemistry. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this?
I didn't sign up for this.
Bro, I just got done. I went to State Fair for 2 years. That's a community college I went to for 2 years. And then I went to barber school, so I had to go back to school again. It was like, damn, bro, I just got done
Your head
with
was
school.
spinning.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was horrible, man.
And actually, like see, we didn't get to go to a real barber school. We got to go to like a cosmetology school to learn barbering.
Yeah.
But the number one thing, me and Terrell both worked under All Stars Barbershop here in Warrensburg and Knob, and that's when we really got to develop our craft because there was an actual barber showing us how to pay attention to detail. Barber. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How to, you open the guard and you hold the guard like this, and this is what makes the hair do that. You know, before we didn't even know. We were just changing guards and hoping they blend together.
No, just kind of seeing what other people do and then just kind of applying it.
It brings like, it's actually like the same thing as, they sculpt those statues in the museum you see. You got to sculpt the haircut just like that. If you ain't paying attention to detail, it's going to come out crappy. People ain't going to like it. People are going to be upset.
Shout out to my boy Will, man. He taught me a lot. That's where I learned.
Yeah, if you tuning in, Will, much love, man.
Yeah.
But
Uncle Will to Terrell.
But no, okay. I'm gonna throw some questions at you. So, are y'all able to cut women's heads too?
Yeah.
If you go down to the Weekly Barber, is it just for the male audience only? What we got going on here?
Now, hey, when we go down to Weekly Barber, it ain't male audience only. Of course, if you walk into the barbershop doors, there ain't no discrimination. You know what I mean? Once you come in the doors and you're looking for a haircut,
you family.
We're professionals, so we ain't gonna turn you away. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now, can we cut women's hair as great as we can cut men's hair? I'm not gonna say we can't. Shout out to all the cosmetologists and the women's salon owners that are doing it big out there. Hey, good ups to y'all because women hair tires me out. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of work. But yes, we were taught. Like I said, we went to a cosmetology program, so we were taught also how to cut women's hair, how to put layers, 180 cut, 190 cut, put a bob on you. You know what I'm saying?
We know how to do perms, man. We have to learn perms. We can do perms all day.
All day.
Volleyball, everything you can think of with the women. That's not what I do, so it's not gonna be the best. Don't come in and think you're gonna get top notch.
What's the toughest haircut to do? And I'm not saying it can be a style, it can be a child, or whatever. What's the toughest?
Oh, okay. Well, the toughest haircut probably for me would have to be those guys who leave the hair long all over, but they just want a scissor cut, but keep it above the ears, make sure it looks slick.
Justin Bieber.
But I don't want. They be like, but I don't want my sides faded now.
Yeah.
I want you to take it down
fade
bald. I ain't trying to be no hipster now. I want my sides to stay long, just tuck it behind my ears, and that's the hardest cut for me because now that's where you really have to be precise. Now you do have to take your fingers out, measure the hair. This is where the angle of the hair is going. So that's why most of those men like that go to salons because women are, they're much more, I don't know, on point with that.
And I'll let TJ answer too, but just like how, women might be able to do that cut a little better, but on the other side of the spectrum, they might not be able to fade it just as nice. But then there's women out there that
can fade it up.
Ula, she's nice.
She knows how to do it all. Yeah, Ula does know how to do every bit of it. So
a lot of women taking over.
What's your toughest cut? Who's your toughest client?
The toughest cut for me.
Just say a child. It's all good.
Nah. Yeah, for me, it wouldn't be a cut. I think it's more. I'm horrible. I'm not saying horrible, but I'm not the best at designs. I can't get that down. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. To me, it's like you gotta have the skill to actually draw.
Yeah, you gotta have that draw.
Yeah, that's where my boy Darian come in. He can do it. That's the best man I've seen do it so far. I can't get it just right. I'm gonna get there one day with.
So if you need a ladies cut, a design in the head, go ahead and just give the Weekly Barber crew a shot. Yeah. I'm telling you, they do me right every time. But
and he got a woman's head, so.
Hey, I used to have that woman's hair.
Yeah, that's the perfect example right there.
Yeah,
where you cut your hair. That's what we talking about.
If you don't follow me on Instagram, I don't know why you'd be listening to this podcast, but go to the post where I cut my hair. You can see how long it was. Darian did it all right here, like right there.
Oh, right in the living room, right where I'm almost sitting.
He took me from
Jon Snow. That's why I used to call him Jon Snow. You seen Games of Thrones? It looked just like Jon Snow, man. That thing came all the way down here.
Dude, he took me from Jon Snow to ready to run the presidency.
To
you know
Conor
what I'm
McGregor.
saying?
Conor McGregor. Now. That's my boy. That Conor McGregor. It transformed, man. You got to go in there and see that, man.
For sure.
Yes.
How long y'all been barbering for?
Oh shoot, I've probably been. I've been a legal barber for almost a year and a half. Yesterday. Almost a year and a half, and then I've been cutting hair for I'd say right around 6 years.
6 years.
Damn, you been cutting for 6 years?
Damn, TJ, what you got? What you got, bro?
Well, I show you those little tidbits in the shop, but
6 years. I don't think it's been 6 years for me. I started picked up the clippers probably 4 years ago, I guess. Professionally, only a year and a half, I'll say. It hasn't been that long for me. I still got a lot to learn, but
still got a lot to learn. But dude's got what it takes, and I mean, I haven't seen a unhappy customer, and they're always in there enthusiastic, ready to work. So if you need a cut, check out the Weekly Barber, guys. What are you hoping the Weekly Barber can become one day? I'm not talking.
The Weekly Barber. I mean, when you say it out of your mouth, you know it in the back of your head, even if you don't think about it. I mean, that sounds like a chain of places, you know. The Weekly Barber, and especially shout out to my main man Ramon Jamerson for coming up with that little
logo
abbreviation,
the
TWB. You know what I'm saying? Like that's wow, TWB. When I seen it, I was like, yes. That's what I needed, you know what I mean? But I see it right now. Let's say just speak for the first 3-4 years. I see it, prospering well in Sedalia. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of clientele, and I feel like we also are gonna bring a certain comfortability to barbershops. Nowadays, people go to salons, people go into barbershops. You just see they're so uncomfortable. They sitting in there, they're having to wait their turn. They're keeping to themselves. They have to read a magazine. Nah, it's so close and compact in our shop that it's forced to talk. And man, I got a lot of good guys working with me. So we bring conversation around, we stir it up, and I want everybody to know when they walk in that door, oh man, I can be myself. I can just sit here and talk to Darian, Terrell, Manny. I can talk to either one of them. If I had a problem, I can go ahead and spit it to them, even if they got somebody else in their chair, because you know why? That person's been in their chair before, and they ain't gonna let that person judge me on the problem that I have. Yeah. So I mean, I see it being, therapeutic almost. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
That's how it's supposed to be, a real barbershop, man. I can see for myself at this shop here, we're gonna change the game of barbering, especially around Sedalia, Missouri. A lot of people lost the touch of barbering. Like right now, I'm pretty sure we're about the only shop that do facials.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go nowhere else to get a facial, not like this. And it's the best thing ever.
I do like the facials.
This is the new wave, man. You come in, we do a beard treatment. We're gonna do it all. I got the black mask. You come in, exfoliate your skin, man. It's a lot.
And it's like no knock on the other, barbershops or salons in town. There's a lot of good barbers in town. Shout out Briar, shout out all those type of people. But like, you do have a point though about the facials, and because I swear to God, I've lived in Sedalia my whole life, and I've gone to barbershops, and I never. I thought I was in foreign land when I came in. Darian painting out facials.
I thought I was about to perform surgery on his ass.
And the big thing is that hot shave. That hot shave is dope. I haven't even seen that. Like when I went down to Dick's, I never would see that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and Dick's normally they do got the hot towels in there, but Dick's kind of steered away from using them. People see one thing about it's lost in barbering is people are all about time. You gotta understand anything that's has to take a craft to do takes time. People complain about they're sitting in the chair for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But when you get out of the chair, how do you feel?
Yeah.
A 15-minute haircut, you may have got 15 minutes. You can make it on to your appointment, but you got a patch in the back. You can missing a couple hairs on your cheek. You just don't feel like you got the whole clean look. When you walk out of the Weekly Barber, you're like, yo, I'm clean.
I'm clean.
Yeah. I'm clean.
I look good.
Clean.
I look good.
A new face, new skin, new hair, man. Hey, it's the truth. Like I said, if you never had a facial before, I know a lot of women get it, but the men, it's gonna change your life. If you got a beard, we come in and do a beard treatment on you. You get the hot towel, you get the razor, you get the black mask, you get it all.
Can I put that on silent?
You get it all, man. It's the best. If you go on Instagram, you'll see a lot of the new barbers. You go in California, Florida, New York. That's all they do. I'm telling you, we bring something new to Sedalia, Missouri, and we taking over. Weekly Barber is gonna be the real thing, man.
Yeah,
we
boy,
just started.
I love hearing it too.
We just started, bro. This is only the beginning.
If y'all listening and if y'all watching, you can see the enthusiasm. You know these guys mean what they say and they love it. They're passionate about it and legit. They're dedicated to it.
Baby.
That's why I want them on the podcast. That's the goal of this community highlight. But yeah, first off, and we support all barbers and all walks of life. But if you want a good look, go to the Weekly Barber. That's at the Weekly Barber on Instagram, Facebook too. TJ, what's the Instagram?
TJ the Barber 13. Facebook is TJ the Barber. You'll see me on there with the razor. I'll be the second one to pop up.
Yeah.
And also go ahead and go check out 19 Darian 93. That's my Instagram. But also, if you can also find us on Facebook. It's a little different. It's called The Weekly. My boy here, Simo's been giving me.
This dude can't figure out how to change it to the.
But it's almost like a newspaper though. Hey, The Weekly.
The Weekly.
What's up at The Weekly?
Let's see the haircuts this week.
Let's go check out The Weekly. You know what I'm saying? And also, and I hope we get to that point to where we can do, interact with Dedication Period and maybe do something like The Weekly. You know what's The Weekly on the Weekly Barbershop? You know what I mean? So I mean, it's something that we're gonna climb, and we got open hands to pull everybody up with us. So this business ain't just for barbering or to make us look great or to make us even look better than everybody. Barbers around Sedalia, hey, we here. You know what I'm saying? We colliding with everything. We want to collab. We want to do what it takes to get Sedalia on the map. We ain't self-serving in here. We getting everybody up at the same time. So these people who think y'all have to compete with us or that we trying to bring competition, we are never a hostile environment, and we will never bring hostility to anybody's doorstep.
Damn. I like that. No, for real, and that's good. I feel that's just a lot of people, can get caught up and think that just because you're doing something like you're against them or you're doing something you think you're better. No, this is all about let's create for ourselves. Who wants to go work for somebody else? At the end of the day,
the greatest thing that ever happened to me at Weekly Barber so far is when Walter, who owns Walter's Barbershop, walked into my barbershop to check it out and to say, man, I'm proud of what you did. This looks great. You're going to prosper. Just hold on. He gave me advice and everything. And I'm thinking this is how it should be. One hand helps the other. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't want to be, colliding heads with another, barbershop or another.
Yeah.
We're all at the end of the day to help the customer, to make the customer look good. Because I'll tell you right now, if I go into the barbershop and I come out looking funky, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and if anything, the only competition there should be is like, oh dang, Darian made that head look good. TJ made that head look good. I gotta make sure I am too.
Yeah.
There you go.
And at the end of the day, if everybody that's coming in getting a haircut is looking good and they're happy, then everybody wins.
I'm happy you said that because it's like if you're in a barbershop, like us three, it's us three of us in the barbershop together. Let's say if I do a haircut and it looks, let's say Darian looked at it like, man, that don't look right. You're not just gonna keep it to yourself. You're gonna tell me. Sit back down. We're gonna fix this and get it right. We're not gonna just let you get up and walk out looking crazy. And that's for all of us, man. We can't. It don't feel right letting somebody walk out the shop with a bad haircut. You can't do that, especially if you all work together. It don't matter who it is.
Well,
you gotta help.
And also, that's like our little read along said. That's like an impression on your business, also. So hey, they sat me back down. They fixed me when they didn't think it was good, and I still walked out there looking good. They ain't gonna let me walk out there looking like, crap, just because they want some money.
No, and it shows that you care.
Yeah.
You care about the customer.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's good.
And I know, you gotta make money to be in business, whatever. But I know that y'all money is a big thing for it, just like everybody. But
I don't. Make money.
When I see y'all working and everything, I can tell that it's
and I mean, competition ain't a bad thing. Competition ain't a bad thing, other barbers.
Damn, you showing off the money.
Whoa.
Hey, what we doing here?
Other barbers out here
trying to find my car. I got lost in the money.
Other barbers out here competing, you know what I'm saying? And competition ain't a bad thing, but the definition of competition is to
get better.
Compete to make yourself better, not to compete to make someone else look worse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's not the...
If you take it that way, it will be that way.
It will be that way, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, any final thoughts? What do people need to know about the Weekly Barber?
You gotta come through, man. Like I said, the good dope sells itself, man. You come through and get a taste of it. Hey, you gonna be high a long time.
There won't be no dope. There won't be actual dope, but you get the term.
But no, thing is, just like Terrell said, come check us out, man. We got a lot of good hands on deck. It's a comfortable place. We're open from Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. you know, practically all day. There's not an excuse that you can't get a haircut. You know, Sunday, Monday, we take, you know, appointments. And I just got, Terrell don't know this actually, but I just got our business phone all put up. Y'all can call us on our business number, 826-5755.
Working on days off.
And we'll put all the information in the bio and everything, so all that's there. But
definitely. If you don't even have hair, you bald head, we give a hot towel shave on you.
Come get a facial.
Excuses. Exactly, get a facial. And come get the black mask treatment. It's the real.
And what I wanted to finish the podcast on is, even if you don't need a cut, even if maybe you cut your hair yourself, go check them out. Sit down in the chair. Get that. What's that light you got? They got the best.
Light.
They got the best camera light ever. So if you want the best picture on your timeline, go to the Weekly Barber. They'll hook you up with that even.
We do. We try.
But you might have to pay like $1 or something, maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak for
charge.
Those are the businessmen there.
You can either pay $1 or bring good conversation. We'll take either one.
Yeah, either one, man.
Right downtown, you got the perfect view out the window. We got a big window for you to look out of. We're gonna have sports on all day. You get to talk about, Xbox, GTA, everything. You got it. Hey, I'm telling you, it's a real barbershop, man.
You're gonna have people coming down. They're gonna be like, "Hey, man, can you go ahead and sign into my account? I'll play my story mode out."
Just to leave you off. I mean, it's just a comfortable spot. I mean, just come out and try it. You know, everybody can try something once. We'd appreciate it, and we'll be there with open arms, open chairs.
Open arms and open chairs. Hot clippers ready to line you up.
Yes,
but no, I've been there like 4 times now. Haven't left, upset once. It's a great environment, great place to be. That's the Weekly Barber, the community highlight.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys checking us out.
Yeah. There's gonna be plenty more of this to come.
Plenty.
TJ, appreciate you stopping by, my dog. Yes, sir. Let's go. That's it. That's the podcast. You already know. But that was great.
That's perfect.
No, that was
we doubled it. It went about 30 minutes, huh?
Yeah,
26. That's good though. I just wanted it less than 30.
Oh, really?
Because we used all the video up on his
Yeah.